Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, hello 8 Paws. Thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. That is a big deal. What else do we have going on? Today's question. That's what we've got going on. Today's question. Are we headed for a recession this year? Yes, no, other. If you have other, put it in the comments. Rick Ritchie in the house. And thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. Yes, I invested in myself. In case you were wondering, I actually did it. Somebody came down on me today, and it was over my criticism of how the tariffs were being used and all that good stuff. I can take criticism. I have no problem with that. I don't like people's tones. I don't like when people talk down to me. And that's a problem. And then I figured, yeah, this person, yeah, they're not down with the GMB. They're not. They're not. They're not down with this community. Because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. I've had conversations with Rick Ritchie, Hutanic, just countless people in this community, and amazing how they end with me feeling like if they were standing right there, I'd be like, all right, so who's buying? What's for dinner? What we doing? It's not it's a difference of opinion. It's never an attack. I'm investing in myself to figure out when that recession is. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm buying. You're absolutely in the corner because I just got started and you already got me snorting and laughing and everything. No, you're cooking. I'm not buying jack. You're cooking. That's what's up with that. You're hitting the barbecue, kid. You're hitting the barbecue. Because you live in a warm place, so barbecue's got to be good. Paul Atkins is expected to be the next SEC chairman. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Yo, Leroy Tice, what's good? You meant invested. Okay, got it. Thank you for letting me know. Because I was reading that and I'm like, huh? You invited your family? Okay. No, you meant invested. Okay, got it. Got it. It's been a long day. It's been, it's got stuff to do. Charles Hoskinson is out there talking about global trade war. Yeah. And it's a big risk. It's a big risk. And I'm like, yeah. If you're brave enough to handle Memphis and May International Barbecue Festival, it's a timing thing. It's a timing thing. I love food, man. I'm not a small dude. I love food. So that's a big deal. Hosky also I also teased about a major airdrop or something like that. And the other day I heard that there was some kind of a cryptic Cardano Ripple XRP thing, something or other, or something like that. So I think there's like stuff coming. I think there's stuff coming. I don't know the timing. I don't know the timing on those, but I think there's stuff coming. What a crazy day. And with this crazy up and down decision making, who knows about recession? I feel you. Did you invest in yourself, kind sir? Let us know. But here's what's going through my head, my tiny little pea brain. What's going through my tiny little pea brain is that there's no rhyme or reason. It's nothing but chaos. There's no plan except for the chaos. And there are only but so many times that you can bring everything to the brink and think you're going to pull it back. Do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. What kind of statement is that to make? What kind of statement is that to make? I don't know. Again, I think that, negotiations need to happen. I think that people need to pay attention to what's going on in terms of exports. Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada all get hurt. Imports, the whole country gets hurt, right? The whole country gets hurt. Ramifications are already happening. Indeed, you did. Thank you, Mike and McCaskill. At some point, you've got to start to do the math on how many people you're hurting with how you're going about doing things versus how many people you're helping with how you're going about doing things. I'm not against renegotiation of certain trade agreements and things like that. I'm not against that at all. Start with the top 10. Start with the top 10 in this country. Nothing else matters. Because who's in that top 10? You know what I mean? So that's what I wonder about. So we're already taking a hit on tariffs. Oh, we're going to have a 90-day. So I made a statement the other day and I said, Bill Ackman had said that, hey, maybe we should have a 90-day kind of pause on this tariff thing and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody said that the White House is considering it and the White House said it was fake news. And here we are 2 days later. I do not mind certain things. I do mind when you're affecting people's livelihoods, when you're affecting their retirement, when you're having a profound effect on some people with not a care in the world. How far removed are you to say something like, well, my mother-in-law is not going to worry about not getting her Social Security check. Her son-in-law is a billionaire. Why should she worry? See how far removed that thought process is? And that was the head of the Treasury. That was Lutnick. I find it hard to believe that a bunch of billionaires actually understand how the world works for the rest of the world. I meant what I said. They don't understand how the world works for everybody else. They're billionaires. They're not a care in the world. They're not going to worry about it. But everybody else, slightest change in the flow of wind is a big deal. So for you to say, oh, my mother-in-law is not going to miss her Social Security check and her son-in-law is a billionaire. That woman probably has never seen a bill since her son-in-law was a billionaire. Like, Bill, what's that? But when you have people out here trying to figure out what job they're going to have, because companies are laying off, because they're prepping for 90 days, that means nothing. For a company that's got to import stuff, to have jobs, to sell so they can have people that are in the stores and doing all that stuff. Yeah, 90 days is nothing. What are you doing? So you cause the market to tumble down and then you pull back and the market shoots back up again. I'm paying attention to what else is going on, right? Paying attention to what else is going on. 21 Shares launched a fully backed Dogecoin ETP, DOGE, on Switzerland's SIX exchange. Kind of nice. Of course, there was also a Treasury sell-off. Treasuries had gone up, and then there was a sell-off. Just saying. What's the recession stuff we are talking about? I'm not even going to bother to answer that question. I'm sure you know English. Get to the point you're trying to make, because I know that's not the point. waiting. Not being funny. I'm being honest. People right now are living in a recession because companies had to plan. As soon as all this tariff talk started coming out, companies had to plan. Some people have jobs, some people don't. When you look at that number, we got 228,000 jobs. That's awesome. What jobs were they? Go to LinkedIn and see the number of people that are looking for jobs. Go to LinkedIn and see all the fake jobs by a lot of corporations. Why? Because they don't want the street to know that they're not filling those jobs. It happens all the time. They do it all the time. And then they turn around and go, oh, we're having massive layoffs. Don't believe me? Okay, 2 years ago, Citi said, oh, we're going to have layoffs. Oh, they didn't, no notice, no nothing. We're going to have layoffs. They didn't tell anybody where it was going to be or anything else like that. So the whole warn thing, that's when you get a notice, the government gets a notice about what places are going to be directly affected by these layoffs. They wait until the last minute. Yep, no, we'd rather pay the fine than let the street know we're going to have massive layoffs. It's common practice. And then a lot of the jobs that they're quote unquote backfilling, they get posted out there, but hear them all the time, ghost jobs. So you waste your time sending in your resume for all these ghost jobs and nothing happens after that. What point will we say Trump was right and we could not figure it out? When he shows us that he's right. And right for who? Right for who? When you put out plans to do something and they're not well thought of. What's up, Lex? And they're not really out there. Remove that statement. You know what? Don't even bother with it. I'm going to remove that statement for you because we're not having a political conversation. We're having a conversation about the policies. I don't know that he's going to be right about. I can honestly say right now, I don't think you're going to be able to prove to me that he's right about the tariffs. They weren't focused. They were not focused. I think that if you were going to do something like this, they should have been focused. I'm of the opinion that you don't cause riots around the world, right? When you should have started with that one country. Nobody else compares. No other country compares to that one country. Like I said, you take the top 10 and you start banging on it. You start banging on them to renegotiate. Okay, cool. I could actually understand that thought process. You can easily make that case. Tariffs across the board. Fake numbers being shown to the world. This is why I'm doing it. You make us look like idiots. So yeah, no, I don't think you're not gonna prove to me that he was right about tariffs. A broken clock is correct 2 times a day. You're not gonna prove to me about that. Because I've already said that, yeah, I believe that we needed to renegotiate things. That part, definitely agree with. But with who? There were better ways to handle that. You rocked the market, brought the market down. 4 days in a row, you brought the market down. Just saying. He's actually on video saying that, if a president brings the market down 1,000 points, they should be impeached. And then the guy that's advising you about the tariffs is Peter Navarro. Go do some research on that guy. I don't see any real economists on his team. That's where I have my problem. Even if we said, well, we're going to go and we're going to do this tariff thing, sure. Let's be focused. Let's be focused. I didn't see focus. I did not see focus. Which made me think, oh, there's other stuff going on that we should be paying attention to. So from a financial perspective, I don't agree with that. And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that happened because this is taking up the oxygen in the room. Nobody was paying attention to this stuff. Insiders selling $30 million worth of Melania coin. Like, seriously? World Liberty Financial selling off tons of Ethereum. I think it was like $125 million worth. I think they took a $125 million hit. And they're selling Ethereum. And I'm just like, you're selling Ethereum? Oh, so you dumped Ethereum. Oh. Yeah. Got to pay attention to everything. I'm cool. I'm fine with being wrong. I'm fine with people proving me wrong. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. Because it means I have an opportunity to learn something. Because remember, for me to be wrong, I have to admit that I was wrong about something. So me admitting that I'm wrong about something, I learned something. I'm good. I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Teach me something. I think he's trying to short the shorters. I have no idea what he's trying to do. I really do. Rick Ritchie, I think I deleted the wrong one. I'm sorry about that. I was supposed to delete this one. There you go. So Rick Ritchie, I apologize. Like I said, these are not political statements. I'm talking about how these events are affecting my bags. They're affecting the bags around me. And if you're affecting the bags around me, that's a problem. I'm not seeing how these billionaires are moving correctly for the rest of the country. I see how they're moving correctly if I'm a billionaire. I see that. If I'm a billionaire, they're making all the right moves for me. Thanks. Everybody's taking a hit. I'm going to go buy some stuff. I'm going to keep it moving. But if I'm a regular, everyday person, regular, I'm not seeing how that works. These are all opinions, and he's trying to run a country, not the stock market. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this show is full of opinions. That's right. It's full of opinions. We'll have to see, but somebody had to do something because the old way was piling on debts. Okay, again, I point to the amount of money that he wastes on a daily freaking basis. If we're all going to feel the pain, then we should all feel the pain. If we're going to practice austerity, fine, but we should all be practicing austerity. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Is causing the market crash a backdoor way of lowering the dollar value to other fiats? I think Hutanik said that the other day. Yeah. As much as I dislike Trump, I am open to him getting it right. You want to know something, Hutanik? You and I are in the same boat. I can't stand him. I think he's disgusting. But he's the president of the country, so I do hope he's actually successful. For the country. Not for himself, not for his cronies, for the country. I feel that way about every president, even if I didn't vote for you. I hope you're successful in making things better for the country and not just a chosen few. Big deal. Very big deal. And a lot of people don't feel that way. They're like, oh, I hate this guy, I hate this guy, I hate this guy. Nah, I get it. I get it. But if he is successful for the country, doesn't that make things better? If he's successful for the country. But so far, his actions have not been successful for the country. Lex, this is not a political conversation. It's about the policies that will affect our bags. So we're not going to have that conversation, period. We're talking about policies that affect our bags, policies that affect the global economy. We've got 2 car companies so far that are not shipping cars. One company has cars sitting on the docks that they're not going to put out into, the dealerships. These are big deals. We've got people going to the store and buying, Lucy eggs. So, yeah, it's a big deal. It's very unfortunate. We have to vote. Nope, that's a political statement. Not going to read it. So, what I'm hoping for is an actual plan. An actual plan. Something that says, this is what we're shooting for. This is what we're doing to bring further prosperity to the country. That's what I want to see. Everybody, a lot of people, a lot of his supporters running around talking about, well, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Yes, there was no plan, though. There's no focal point. There's no focus on what he's doing. Want to go up against China? Cool. Don't make an enemy of the rest of the world. You want to penalize Mexico for, everything that's going on at the border? Fine, penalize Mexico. What are you doing with Canada? What are you doing there? I'm telling you, we're going to have a lot of cleanup to do. Right now, we do stand alone. Right now, we stand alone. Economically, we stand alone. So I'm looking at, how does all of that affect all of my bags? How does all of that affect all of my investments? Invested in a store? Well, damn. How is that retail store affected? Is everything they sell, made in the USA? All the car parts for all the trucks and cars that are used to ship things to the store, is all of that made in the USA? Because if it's not, we're going to be affected. Facts. So you implement something and then 2 days later you have a 90-day grace period? That doesn't sound like a plan. So now I've got to start planning for the unexpected. I've literally got to manage my bags based on a decision tree analysis. If he does this and they do that, then I got to do this and I got to. I'm playing this game along with the long-term game. Because my long-term game says, well, he's only going to be here for 4 years. He's only going to be here for 4 years. So I'm playing the long-term game, and then I'm playing the short game. How can I make money? I was speaking with somebody today, young kid. It's like early 20s, maybe mid-20s. Maybe. And he's like, on January 6th, you know what I did? As soon as I heard about that stuff, I started buying puts. Because he's like, oh, that's not going to go well. That right there is not going to go well. I started buying puts. He's like, I made a couple of bucks. He was like, that's the most money I ever made. Yeah, I got to pay taxes on it, but it's the most money I ever made. I was like, wow, that's a pretty good deal. Really smart kid. And he's like, yeah, we probably needed some tariffs. We probably needed some change. But man, how he's going about it. And I'm just listening to this young kid. I'm being so disrespectful. He's not a kid. He's a young man. And he's like, yeah, but he's going about it so sloppily. This could have been a win all the way around. I said, how? And he goes, if he was more focused on what he was doing and how he was doing it, not talking nasty to people, just, hey, straight up, this is what we got to do. I'm like, okay, I can understand that. I don't see how that's political. I'm literally talking about economic impacts. China's shipping through Mexico illegally. You have to look at all the countries that are out there doing all kinds of things. That's why I'm saying we needed to be more strategic about what we're doing. That's what we needed to do. But I don't feel like that's what happened. I could be wrong. Maybe in the future we'll be able to turn around and look back and go, "Oh, that was the right thing to do." But tariffs across the board. That's not a political statement. That's not a political statement. That's an economic statement. Yeah, gotta vote. But more importantly, gotta know how your money is being, what you're doing with your money. I had a conversation with my son. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm only gonna stay home until tops. I'm 25 years old." And I'm like, "Yeah, nah. You're gonna stay here for as long as you need to stay here." That young man I was talking to, he was like, "Yeah, you move out on your own and you have a nice job and everything else." And everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna get a house soon," and blah blah blah. He's like, "I don't know that I'm ever gonna get a house, not in this country." And it wasn't, "I'm not ever gonna get a house." It was the "not in this country" that caught my attention. He was like, "Why? I pay taxes on property that I supposedly bought. I'm supposed to own this property and I don't. This land has been paid for, but I continue paying for it. What's up with that?" And I was like, good point. So why buy a house? I never own the land. So I carry all the responsibility, but none of the benefit. He was like, "I dare you not to pay your taxes for your house in a year. You own it outright. I dare you not to pay your taxes. They will come and snatch that land right from under you." There are a lot of things that need to be changed. A lot of things that need to be changed. I'm just looking for somebody that's going to say, "You know what? Not everything is going to get done in my time frame that I'm going to be in office. But here's the plan." And the plan can't be that my billionaire buddies continue getting rich. The plan can't be that everybody in Washington continues getting rich. It's, I would like to, you know what? You could be as rich as you want, so long as there's not a single person in this country, not a single citizen in this country that doesn't have a roof over their head and food on their table. Is that asking a lot? Is that asking a lot? I don't think it's asking a lot. Like, I don't know that I want to tell people that you can't earn as much money as you can earn. I don't think that's what I want to say. I think I want to say is we should never have anybody that's homeless. We should never have anybody that's, trying to figure out their next meal. We should never have people that are trying to figure out their health care. This is all money. This is all impact on money, on our value. When everybody has, then we're a prosperous nation in my book. Take that as a political comment if you want to. I don't think it is. I think it's a matter of it's an economic thing. It really is an economic thing, and we've been broken because it's not political to me because it's been a problem for, just look back, any party, any presidency, it's been a problem for that for way long. For way, way, way long. Those are the things we need to fix. When we have people out here saying, "I don't trust the banking system," I'm not keeping my money in banks. There's something wrong. This is a capitalist society and you don't trust banks? That's a problem. I've been reluctant to interact. Thank you for that, Hutanic. I just read it. I love red markets, Rick Ritchie. I love red markets. But you got to stop and you got to think about, what am I going to get? Like, I could literally rattle off what I would invest in, what I have invested in, but I try to be as strategic as possible. I'm thinking about in terms of how much money can I make right now? Which ones fall into that midterm bucket and what falls into that long-term bucket? You know what I mean? And that's tough. That's why I talk to you guys, because I'm like, all right, so what are we looking at? What are we looking at? What are we playing with? You know? Let me do this. Tomorrow could be rough with CPI and unemployment and tariffs on China starting at 104%. Ugh, I know. Tomorrow's going to be a crazy day. Friday's going to be a crazy day with PPI. Truth is, those are backward looking numbers, except for jobs. Well, even jobs slightly backward looking, but PPI, CPI backward looking. It's the next one. It's the one after this, right? Now, we haven't been doing all that great, so these numbers might not be so great. But the next ones, oh, yeah. Hong Kong investors are moving to digital banking too. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been talking about that for a minute. Yup. I mean, there are big things that are going on in terms of, the ETPs, ETFs that are out there. Sui's got an ETP coming out. Doge has got something. And there are just a lot of things going on out there. But again, when can I get it? XRP futures already out there, right? What do I do? There are so many calculations that I have to worry about right now, right? Risk managers, I keep telling you guys, risk managers have software that weigh micro events, macro events, that can affect the market, and they run all these numbers, and then the CIO Chief Investment Officer, has to go through and look at which numbers they think are the best numbers, and then that's how they move forward. I need that. I was talking to somebody today, and we were talking about, all these bots that are out there that help people gather information, basically automated tokenomics, and, stock research and all that good stuff. And I sat there and I was like, yeah, that's what I do. I gather information about, if I'm looking to buy a specific stock or crypto, whatever it is, I go grab all the numbers. I go grab, information over the past month, because you figure within the last 30 days, I should be hearing about what's coming out in the future, what's happened in the near past, and put together this story. And I put that together and I make decisions. Yeah. It's no joke. There are just so many calculations that we have to go through right now to be able to get there. ETH option spot. Yeah, but it's not just ETH. I have that story tonight too. But yeah, that's out there. I can see them creating a crypto wallet for each of us to file taxes, stimulus, UBI, Medicare, and Social Security. UBI? What's UBI? Unemployment benefit insurance. I can see that. But not tied to anything. Universal basic income. Thank you. Because I was thinking unemployment benefit insurance. Universal basic income. In and of itself, that's a big conversation. But think about this. So go back to the point that I just made before. Nobody in this country should be, homeless. Nobody in this country should be, wondering about food. We should just get it. Doesn't mean we don't have to work, but we should just get it. Like there's certain things we should just get. Clean water, we should just get it. Right? UBI. I'm just saying, we have there's a lot of money in this country. There's a lot of money in this country. And like I said, with $1 billion, you're not going to spend it all. And you have people out there with hundreds of billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars. Never going to spend it all. Alaska citizens get a UBI from oil production just to be a citizen. There goes people off the street. Yeah. California's playing around with that idea. There comes a point. We've got rich states. We've got poor states. That's fine. But there shouldn't be anybody on the street. There shouldn't be anybody wondering where their next meal is coming from. We're better than that. We're far better than that. Yeah, one of the Scandinavian countries, I'm trying to remember which one it was, they have that too. But you know what I mean? I mean, healthcare is another big problem that we have. What a freaking racket. Insurance, what a freaking racket. I pay for insurance, but you're not going to pay for something that should be covered under insurance? Well, the wording, nah. Just saying. There comes a point where we've got to start thinking about what kind of society we want to have. In this community, I've seen no less than 50 ideas. Now, I'm not talking about just tonight, but I mean just no less than 50 ideas about what we could do to make this country better. Realistic ideas, no less. Realistic ideas. Oh, we could do this. Oh, we could do this. Some large, some small, some minuscule. Not all of them are great ideas, but some of them are really good ideas. You're seeing some of them tonight. That's the whole point. There are people in our Grow My Bag community that we do not see eye to eye, right? Politically. We do not. But when I see some of the ideas from some of these people, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm down with that. I'm cool with that. Telling you, we're not that far off. I just really think hard about who's benefiting from what economic moves this country makes. And every country around the world. Right? Does it benefit the billionaires, the 0.1%, the 1%, or does it, benefit the rest of us? There's more of us than them. Why does all the money sit with them? Oh, they're smarter than us. No. The churches are vacant 70% of the week. Why don't they take care of people on the street? Because they're too busy locking doors and begging for another $40,000. I know that was rude. But yeah. We have a lot in this country. We have a lot. I can't afford to give everybody $1. I can't. But I have time to share my thoughts and ideas. Whether you agree with them or not, I'm pretty sure I just made a whole bunch of people think. Whether they agree with me or not, we're all thinking about it. Sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes we just need to think. And I'm afraid that a lot of people don't. They live off of not doing their own research, not knowing their entries and exits, and not investing deliberately. We do the exact opposite. We do our own research. We know our entries and exits, and we absolutely invest deliberately. Why do I say that? Why do I say absolutely invest deliberately? be sure-footed. I was going to use the word resolute, but it didn't roll off properly. But yeah, we need to think about things in a way that we can prepare. Sam Kinison said, send the U-Hauls, not food. I don't even know what that means. I don't remember that. I like Sam Kinison, by the way. We only have 1,800 churches in our... Dang! Did you mean to say county or country? You meant country. That number can't be right. I think it's impossible for that number to be right. It's impossible. You meant county? Bruh. That is insane. Holy moly. Tax write-offs and everything. Commercial real estate is also becoming more vacant, but I doubt any politician in charge in the U.S. ever spends much time thinking about poor and homeless. Yeah. Because they never have to worry about benefits. What is it? You serve 2 terms and you never have to worry. It's either 2 terms or 2 years. I think it's 2 terms. I could be wrong. But I know they serve a certain amount of time and they never have to worry about benefits ever again. And how is it they get better benefits? They literally get better benefits than our people in the military. That is what truly disgusts me. That right there is what disgusts me. Nah. No way. No way. Just saying. County. I'm still tripping over that county thing. What? I'm shook. I am shook. So, what else do we have? Goldman Sachs raised U.S. recession odds to 45% amid tariff concerns and tightening conditions. CBOE, BZX filed for the first U.S. SUI spot ETF. Woo. Michael Saylor posted one word, HODL. Patient One just verified. Oh, dang. Hey, Patient One. Just verified 1,564 churches in your county. I just can't. Like, what? There aren't that many people to fill those churches. You know what I mean? Like, what? Yeah, zero property tax. Zero property tax. A whole lot of bennies going on with that. They're huge. Yeah, man. I don't need, man. Yeah. For real. They are huge. 21 shares Dogecoin ETP launched on the Swiss 6 exchange. That was nice. It's already in the top 10 coins. It's nice. ETF approval odds. US ETF approval odds are at 64%. Ledger Live added support for SUI tokens. I told you, don't sleep on SUI. Don't sleep on SUI. SUI's got stuff going on. BlackRock sold 3,296 Bitcoin for about $254 million. There was about 300 million plus sold in outflows across all of them. That's kind of a big deal. Dang. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody should have to pay their way. Most churches are businesses. They just don't want to admit it to you, but they're businesses. Immutable will merge its Immutable X network into Immutable ZK EVM by late 2025, unifying their gaming assets across titles like Gods Unchained, Illuvium. That one's actually big. While IMX token fell, I think it's down like 25%, something like that recently. The SEC approved Ethereum ETF options trading for BlackRock and Fidelity. That's kind of cool. Kathy Wood, did she call it this time or what? Because she bought Coinbase when it was on the dip and then it just popped up. It'd be funny if she sold. It'd be hilarious. It really would be. So yeah, when we are looking at all of this stuff, events, all of these things, not all of them, but I want to say half the news that I've delivered tonight, those are calendar events. This one filed, this one filed, this one filed, this one filed, this one filed. These are all calendar events. Because you know it's going to happen. Well, you know it's on course, right? So there'll be more news drops. Telling you that if you cluster news in such a way, you can make the market pop up. You can make the market pop up. Just saying, prepare. I don't ask a lot. Prepare. How do you prepare? Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's how you prepare. That is how you do it. 15 minutes a day will help you get there. Second biggest gainer. Luxusa is the second biggest gainer. So, and it just changed. Ooh, wow, hold on. Yeah. So Farcoin is at 75 cents right now. It's up 43%. It's got a GMB X factor of 2.30. What are they doing? They're not doing anything. It's a meme. It's a meme. I told you guys, pay attention to coins that can actually move for you. It's a meme, up 43%. 24 hours. 24-hour change was 43%. Like, it's amazing when you look at some of these. Some project called Entangle is up 144%. But the GMB X factor, dare I say, 6,802.54 is their GMB X factor. I would never. But they're in the top 250 coins. How? Now you know why I keep saying you got to do your own research. You got to know what's going on with the coin. Is it a coin? Is it a project? Is it a business? Is it viable? Who do they serve? What's their purpose? What's their use case? Who's involved? How long they've been in the business? The people that have been involved, have they done something else? Because if their name is Hayden Davis, I'm not touching it. If the name is Justin Sun, I'm not touching it. But there's a whole bunch of research that you need to do before you touch a coin. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be honest, with what my approach is. Ondo was up 21%. Pendle is up 18%. Render's up 17%. Over 17%. Helium is up over 16%. BitTensor is up over 15%. There are a lot of things going on. Well, I want to see the losers. Who are the losers? Any big names on the loser side? No. No. So yeah, I mean, the loser list goes into positive territory, like about halfway through. Oh, that's bogus. So yeah. Hutanic, was that you that wrote that? Or a patient one? It is gross. I'm still tripping over that. It can still be a pretty explosive run this year or next year. Oh yeah, no, that I don't know that it's going to be explosive run, right? But I will say this. There's a lot of opportunity if you're doing your own research. There's a lot of opportunity in the past 2 days. Literally, I'm going over numbers with you right now. In the past 2 days, you could have made over 40%. Yeah, I'm sorry, past 24 hours. But who knew? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Everybody thought I was playing. I wasn't playing. I said sprinkle, sprinkle. Everybody thought I was goofing around. I was not goofing around. I was dead serious. Sprinkle, sprinkle here and there. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And then make that determination on whether or not this is a short-term move, a short-term purchase, a short-term transaction, or a long-term transaction. Because if it's short-term, that sprinkle, sprinkle, I'm going to realize my gains. Trisha asked me to be a pastor because I can cite verse all day. I told them you would lose every member, just in case people think I don't believe in God. I do, just not in the church. See, this is why we get along. I'm a God-fearing man, but I don't like churches. Never have. I'm waiting for BDC to go through 86K. Does that mean that when it hits 86K, you're gonna sell? See, for my Bitcoin, I just stack up on Bitcoin. I'm not touching. I'm just stacking up on that. Everything else, okay, there's an opportunity for me to sell. There's an opportunity for me to sell. Oh, you went down? Oh, okay. Sell some now, take some profit, wait for it to take another dip. Because I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over. Got to have your dry powder on the side. Whenever I take profit, some of that profit goes into dry powder. It's mandatory. Minimum 10% must go into dry powder. Must. That's how I do it. That's how I build that up. I will rotate PAX G or swing to BTC. Yep. Yeah, I don't think this is over. I think there's a lot of opportunity coming our way. You just have to pay attention. So if you've got dry powder sitting on the side, get with the program. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's all you got to do. Just saying. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope I made you think tonight. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I hope I made you think. Because if you're thinking, you're investing. Like I said, the GMB3. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Tonight's question was, are we headed for a recession this year? 12 votes. 33% said yes. 42% said no. Other was 25%. Wow. So no one. I still think there's going to be a recession. I think we're in it already because too many people are hurting. Careful how you define recession, right? Be careful how you define recession. If you're buying at the near top, you are losing money if you're not on your game. Buy should be in the bear markets. Yeah. Buy low, Sell high is what he meant to say. Just buy low, sell high. Sounds funny. Buy low, sell high. Here's the difference with some of these coins that are out there right now. We seem to be operating within a range. In my humble opinion, we're operating within a range. So within that range, I'm going to buy when it hits 74, 75, 76,000. I'm going to sell when, Bitcoin is around whatever number, right? And I'm going to look at every coin and I'm going to treat it like that. I'm going to try to buy as low as I can, sell as high as I can, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. Do what you got to do. All right? And the charts do show it. We have been for 2 years. If we are in a recession, yeah, I really do think so. Retail has sucked for 2 years, minimum. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I greatly appreciate you. Everybody, have the great rest of your day. Bye-bye.